Hey, good morning, YouTube. It's Knowledgeable Nick here. Hope that wasn't too loud. I had to move my mic. The title of today's talk is You Are a Slave to Your Current Beliefs. All right? You are a slave to your current beliefs. And this is just a personal experience that I've had in my life, thinking, wait, I thought that's the way life was. Wait a second. I was always told this was the case. And what happens is if we choose to hold on to those beliefs, we can't see reality clearly. Wait a second, I thought women behaved this way. Wait a second, I thought my pastor wouldn't lie to me. Wait a second, I thought this verse in the Bible meant that. And ultimately, what I found is I think our ego is the enemy. And I've really been reading through this book, but we have these current beliefs that are in our mind. You may be very, very successful. And you may have built up beliefs over time. Okay, look, I'm successful. Boom, 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 boom. All of a sudden, COVID happens. Now you're no longer successful. And I start to think, actually, on a spiritual level, whether you're spiritual or not, I almost want to say that it's God helping human evolution. Okay? God helping human evolution by causing us to have to rethink ourselves, okay? God is causing us to have wake-up calls and rethink ourselves. And that's a blessing. That is God's grace. And if you don't believe in God, that's totally fine. But maybe you want to call it fate or destiny, whatever it is, the universe, okay? Sometimes people get triggered when you say God and they're like, oh, I don't believe in that, right? And then their brain shuts off. So I don't care if you believe in God or not. What I care about is that you become the best version of yourself and the purpose and the life that you are here for. I just want you to be as successful as possible. And I hope that my videos help you to do that. But in my life, man, I was a slave to certain beliefs, okay? So deep down, so I was in a monogamous relationship for a while, and I was like thinking, man, I kind of want to be with other women. And I'm like, dude, like, this is it. This is what love is. We're in love. Man, we're going to get married. All that bullshit fantasy stuff that Hollywood teaches you. And love is very important in relationship, but it's not that emotional, oh my God, we're so in love with each other. That's not sustainable, okay? There needs to be deeper shared values that sustains that. And ultimately, what I'm realizing is that love is just something that either you are or you're not. You're either selfish or you're loving, okay? And love is letting that person be. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast. Things like that. And it's not like, oh my God, I love them because they are just so funny, okay? That's not sustainable because sometimes they're going to say some shit that isn't funny. All right. And how did I wake up from this? I mean, I just woke up from bad experiences. I would say that one could say that the grace of God caused me to have bad experiences that were contradictory to my beliefs, and I chose to be humble enough to think about, you know what? Maybe I did something wrong. Okay, instead of blaming that other person. Okay, maybe I felt like in some of the relationships I did the best that I could, I did, but ultimately the relationship ended even though I did the best that I could with the things that I had and the things that I knew. That relationship still ended. And then I was able to reevaluate and recalibrate and just think about, like, oh crap, like, all right, why did that not work? Why did that not work? And I think it's awesome because, and why do I feel so shitty? Why do I feel so shitty? I think that I would almost say that you go in these repetitive patterns until you get it right. Until you get it right. And the repetitive patterns, it's almost like you get little hints of the truth, but your brain doesn't really register it immediately. Like, hey, you could say God, or maybe it's just random luck, whatever you want to say. Like, I'm starting to notice, it's called foreshadowing in literature. Like foreshadowings. As I look back, I'm like, oh, this was all like a foreshadowing of something that was going to happen in the future. Like, are you going to be prepared for that thing? Like, it's almost like a test or a game. Like, God doesn't even know what you're going to do. It's like, hey, I'm going to put this scenario. How does this person react to that scenario? Oh, wow, they reacted that way. Here, I'll give them this scenario. It's kind of like a fun game you're playing with God, so to speak. And I don't know, I mean, who could understand the mind of God? But just maybe you could say you're playing a game of life. And it's like new scenarios keep coming, like, okay, well, that scenario, I made the wrong decision in that scenario. Okay, a similar scenario comes in. Did I make the right decision this time? No, I didn't make the right decision that time. Okay, some people, their ego is really strong, and that's why we see the same thing happening over and over and over again. That's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. And, if somebody thinks, let's just say a female thinks, if I have sex with a guy on the first date, then he's going to want to marry me. Often they will find that is not the case. And if they keep doing that, they're just insane. Okay? Like, oh, well, if I just keep doing the same thing. That's why reevaluation is important. Okay? So we did that. Sleep with somebody on the first date. All right, did that work? It's all about that self-reflection, okay? If I live in La La Land, if I live in fucking La La Land, I'm not going to be successful in any area of life. I need to be constantly reevaluating my YouTube videos, okay? I'll give you a personal example. I make YouTube videos that I want to make, and I made really long form content, like hour long. I was really proud of the product, but people really weren't watching it. And every video I'm like, oh shit, that didn't really work. Okay, let's, keep going. Let's make a little tweak. My cousin says, we're going to adjust one of the variables. All right, so let's just change one of the variables. Okay, so one of the variables is maybe I'll make the video a little bit shorter. Maybe one of the variables is my thumbnail good? Is my title good? Is my description good? But I have to be in that constant state of reevaluation. Okay, when I sent this text to this female, when I sent that dick pic to a female and get blocked, should I be doing that again? Probably not. Okay, probably not. So it's all about the reevaluation. Okay? You can't just be sending a dick pic to 100 women. All right? That's just insanity. I don't recommend that. I don't recommend unsolicited dick pics, okay? But you need to, and I also need to, just constantly reevaluate. Maybe my belief is not true. And people just want to hold on to their beliefs, even religious beliefs. Sometimes you have these beliefs, and a lot of it is fear. I mean, for me personally, it may be fear, like, holy crap, I'm afraid. What if I'm wrong? Oh no, oh my God, my ego, oh my God, what if I said something in a YouTube video and it was wrong? Holy crap, everyone's gonna hate me. You know? Think about that. What if I just hold on to a religious or spiritual belief, okay? All of us are flawed. Any teacher, pastor, spiritual leader, cult leader, whatever it is, has imperfections. And that's what's awesome about humanity, that nobody is perfect. Okay? And the reality is, it kind of helps us all evolve to the next level. Because that person may teach me a lot of good things, but then I see a flaw in them. Okay? Then it makes me reevaluate. Let's just say I have a pastor or something that I really like, and then I find that he says one incorrect thing. How do I know the rest of the stuff that he said wasn't incorrect as well? So now it's an opportunity to evaluate and reevaluate the next steps. It's an opportunity to reevaluate the next steps. So I just encourage you to constantly reevaluate and not be a slave to your current beliefs, because those may hinder you from success, okay? Those may hinder you from success. I don't have time to tell you about this, but there's a link for XS energy drink. You've probably never seen that. So